Is there a motion we go back into session, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll now continue on the discussion. Is there anybody else who would like to ask any questions of Mayor Dybel? We do have two representatives of MSD here today, Wes Sindor and Brian Bingham. Thank you for being here today. They're available to answer questions. Magistrate Greenwell.
Judge, I have one question for Dennis Dybel, please.
Yes, sir.
This surcharge that the city of Crestwood is paying, the ratepayers and the city of Crestwood is chipping in on that,
Correct.
$48,000 a month.
$32,000 a month by the citizens, $16,000 a month out of city budget.
Is it true that if this sale, if we allow this to happen, that MSD will rebate that money back to the city of Crestwood?
They will take over all debt, and the surcharge will come off of the bill, and Crestwood residents and the city will not be paying $48,000 per month.
But will they, in turn, write a check for $48,000 times however many months this has been going on?
They will pay us from, I think it's November, at the 2 million some odd thousand.
So the statement that you made that this is costing the city of Crestwood and the residents money every month, if this happens, will not be true.
No, sir. The city will get the money back. The residents, it'd be next to impossible to try to refund, divvy up that $32,000 a month over 2,500 customers when you paid $10 and this one paid $18.27 and this one paid $32.47. We'd have to write 2,500 checks.
Okay.
So we have a set price for the system, but the residents, forget them coming out of the city budget. It's $32,000 per month coming right out of the ratepayer's pocket.
In different amounts?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that approval of this really opens the door for further negotiations and improvements, as the judge was talking about, of the possibility of working with MSD to relieve Oldham County of debt and high sewer bills.
I wish that had never been brought up today because that's a totally separate issue
I agree.
and should not have been in on this discussion at all.
I agree.
I mean, what we're talking about for Crestwood stands on its own merits or it doesn't.
Correct.
All right, is there anyone else who would like to, Magistrate Harrison?
Yes. Our
Is
county
thing on?
attorney, it's on now. Our county attorney made reference a while ago to something about, I think, only 3 pages out of this document pertain to Crestwood. So while other things were going on, I went through and just did a word search of my own manually. Crestwood is only mentioned on 8 pages, 56 times in the document. So I don't know how anybody can look at this and say, this is not designed for Crestwood. It is for Crestwood. That's the whole purpose of it. And then on page 3, it says, if under effective date of duration, that this is subject to the approval of the Kentucky Attorney General, the Department of Local Government, and agency of the state government having, blah, 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 blah. And this agreement shall become effective on the date first above. But there's another layer.
Yes.
Maybe it's just a tangential approval, but it's still there.
Yes.
And then over on page 5, it mentions something about these numbers are too big for me, a $1,311,820 note that MSD is going to assume that currently Crestwood is bearing and paying the interest on?
Yes. There's
Oh.
actually 2 notes, one with PNC and one with
Well, there's the other one. Yes,
Kentucky
843,
Infrastructure.
115.
Yes.
So we're talking well over $2 million
Yes.
of debt that
Will
you'll be
gone.
released from.
Yes.
Well, that's a bad deal. No, it's not, but, I mean, gee whiz. I mean, all of that is relevant, I think, and again, I feel like we're sitting up here passing judgment on and holding Crestwood hostage, and I don't know why. I really don't. Thank you.
Magistrate Hounds.
Just one comment, make sure everybody's on the same page, and Magistrate Greenwell mentioned it. We are talking only about the Crestwood system today. That's all that we're speaking of. Every other comment that's been made are merely just comments made by people. No disrespect to anybody that's made those comments. Sorry, Judge, but the point.
I've got a name. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, but I was asked a direct question
I
about
understand.
something.
I understand, but I want to make sure that everybody out there understands that we're just talking about the city of Crestwood at this particular time. Unfortunately, or fortunately, this system has been going on since September, October. I can't remember when the first meeting was that I was brought into. And there was a lot of people involved in the conversations, and a lot of things went back and forth. This is a good deal for the city of Crestwood. Mayor Dowell, sorry, I'm still going to call you Mayor Dowell too, has made the pitch for his constituents, lowering the rates. The system that he's had in place with MSD has worked very well for a number of years. No reason to say that it wouldn't continue to work very well for the foreseeable future. Are rates going to go up? Yeah, rates are going to go up for everybody. Rates are going up for Louisville Gas and Electric, Louisville Water, Oldham County Water, OSEA, everything. Just a matter of how much they're going to go up. The more customers, fortunately or unfortunately, that MSD has, is going to have some economies of scale, and hopefully all the ratepayers will benefit from those at some point in time. What we have before us is the last piece of the puzzle to push this through so MSD and Crestwood can get that deal finalized. The next step that happens will be a discussion, I'm sure, after a day for another time and maybe a little bit longer. But let's get the city of Crestwood taken care of, and we'll move forward with the rest of it later.
Magistrate Tice.
Can we restate the motion and re-vote on the motion, or what's the procedure we need to go through?
It's been moved and seconded that we approve this interlocal agreement that allows the City of Crestwood, MSD, Oldham County Environmental Authority, and Oldham County to, we allow that Crestwood and MSD to go forward with their transaction to become acquired by Metropolitan Sewer District. The interlocal agreement has been signed by MSD, Crestwood, and OSEA at this point. So it only lacks the signature of the fiscal court.
Can we re-vote without doing anything else? I'd like to make the motion and review. I'm not sure how we do the procedure.
Motion to reconsider, I think would be appropriate.
Okay.
Okay, so what are you saying? You want to restate the motion?
I'd like to re-vote on the motion.
No.
We haven't voted on it.
We haven't voted.
Oh, we haven't? Okay, excuse me.
The thing we voted on was a motion to stop debate. That
Excuse me.
failed.
I apologize, you're right. Yes, I got it. Got it now.
First and second of the motion, that's all.
Got it.
The rest of it's been discussion.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Are there any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries 8 to 1.
Seven
No,
to one.
7 to 1, excuse me. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is from the Finance Committee. Magisterial salaries, Magistrate Dye.
Yes, Judge. Let me find my piece of paper here real quick. Thank you. It's this time of year again. We got a information from the Department of Local Government that the Managers, Commissioners, Justice of the Peace, and County Coroners that the CPI index for this year will be where's it at here? excuse me, 1.9%. We met in the Finance Committee a week, 2 weeks ago today, and it was voted on that we would, that to move this forward to the fiscal court for approval. So with that, I'm making a motion that we approve the 1.9% CPI increase from DLG for the magistrates.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded that magistrates be given awarded a 1.9% increase based on the consumer price index. Any discussion about that? Hearing none, all.
Judge?
Mr. Greenwell?
Thank you, Judge. After having just asked questions and commented and explored and listened to conversation of this last matter, I don't hardly see how I can ask for a increase in my salary for doing my job. So I'm going to vote against this.
Magistrate Harris?
Since I so often agree with Magistrate Greenwell, I'm going to agree with him again. No. I don't think it's appropriate for us to give ourselves an increase when I have yet to talk to a single person in my district or elsewhere in Oldham County that understands we get paid pretty darn well for what we do. A lot of them don't think we get paid anything. They think we're public servants. But we're not. We get paid really well. In fact, personally, my net for this year will be in excess of $38,000. And I'm the rookie. If we get 40 hours of continuing education training during the year, we can be eligible for an additional $1,000 for the next year. And we can do that every year we're in office. We don't need a cost of living increase. We need to be doing more for the people of Oldham County. That's what we signed up for. When I ran for election, I had no idea how much a magistrate got paid. I knew they got paid something. I never dreamed it was this much. You talk about found money. In addition to that,
I think we need to stop this here. You've misunderstood something tremendously. There is no way any magistrate gets paid $38,000 a year. The magisterial salary, Stan, what is it, 16, 19, something like that?
I don't know where you get the numbers, but they're way.
I think
see,
there just is no way.
W-2 less than 27.
All right, let's be perfectly clear about this. If this is approved, the new annual salary for magistrates would be $19,999.30. Okay, you are eligible. That's a salary. You are eligible to attend the 40 hours of continuing education credit, and that could give you an additional $1,000 a year. Okay, and that's an optional thing. You don't have to do that. So, but I don't know exactly what you may have, how you misunderstood that, but you did.
it's possible. But isn't there an additional $300 expense money in there that is not accountable?
Yes, right.
So we get paid for expenses that we may not have?
No, you get paid to attend committee meetings. If you don't attend committee meetings, you are not eligible for that $300. So that's, and I believe a number of years ago, there were, one of our neighboring counties had a problem with people saying they attended committee meetings, and somehow or other, things that were said to have happened didn't happen as far as meetings go, and they got in serious trouble, and I don't remember exactly. I believe the county judge in one place may have gone to jail, but because of something he misrepresented. So, you know.
At Pike County?
No, it's in our congressional district. I don't want to say just because it's somewhere up, to use a phrase, up the river, you know. But anyway, there was misunderstanding there on how that should be done, and they didn't do it right, and, came under criticism. Manager Greenwell.
You get to be the historian of a group if you've been around longer than anybody else, I think. I'm starting my 17th year. Right before I was elected the first time, there was a pay increase for magistrates from $11,000 a year to $16,000 a year. You get the extra $3,600 if you attend all your committee meetings, and then you are eligible for the continuing education thing. My 1099, or not 1099, my W-2 last year was for just a little bit less than $27,000. We are in line with the counties around us. That's how we came to that's how the other magistrates in 2002 came around to the figure of 16,000. We're not making a whole lot more, and we're not making a whole lot less than all the other counties that surround us.
But what, Judge,
Yes, sir. Manager Dye.
but what you can say here, there are counties in the state that do pay the max, too. And the max for magistrates, 75,890.
Right, there are, across the state, magisterial salaries vary widely.
And there's some counties don't pay any salary.
Magistrate Likens?
Thanks, Judge. This is not really a raise per se. This is consumer price index,
Right.
supposed to keep you up with
Put you-
inflation, I guess.
To keep you up where you
So,
last year.
It's the way I look at it.
Right.
Not going up, it's the same.
Right, it's not, pardon?
Basically an inflation adjustment.
It's an inflation adjustment, is what it is, right? And I realize there are people that feel that some people don't, what do you do for that money? Well, why should you get anything? Well, all of the people who are in our fiscal court and other fiscal courts spend, this is the minimal amount of time they spend is in session. They spend a lot of other time in committee meetings, in learning about things, and going to places, trying to educate themselves to be better public servants. It's not, it's not 2 hours or 2 or 3 hours a month to come and attend the meeting, give their opinion, and go home. There's a lot more to it. It's like anything else. There's much more than meets the eye. And what is worth to be paid to whom? Everyone who is earning a salary feels they're worth their salary, and generally more. The people who are paying it generally feel you're worth less. That's just the way life is. So, anyway, anybody else like to comment on that?
One of the comment that I've got, Judge, is that in years past, we've never recommended any more increase for magistrates than we paid employees. So every time the employees, we never took any more money than what our employees. We made sure we're.
Right. This is actually less than what we voted earlier to award employees a 2% raise, and this is slightly less than 2%. So there's not been anything that was done for magistrates that hasn't been done for employees and more. So, all right. And I do think, in fairness, it needs to be said that this item coming up here right now, after the last discussion we had this item coming up at some other time, may not have had the same reaction it has right now. That was a pretty raucous discussion. So the sum total of the 1.9% for magistrates, and let's put it this way, nobody has to accept it. In other words, if you don't want to take it, turn the check back into Melissa. Do they have to take it?
They have to take it, they can donate it back.
Okay. They can donate it back to the county. So, anyway, everyone who's doesn't have their time invested in this always feels that other people shouldn't be paid. When you have your own time invested in it, then you have a little different perspective over what it's worth. So, Anyway,
Seems like we should.
we have a motion on this, we do, or do we? We have a motion on the floor. All right. Anyone else want to comment on it?
I can comment.
Okay.
I actually agree with Magistrates Harrison and Greenwell on this one as well. So I struggle with this. Do I vote yes to allow myself a raise after being here 2 months and 5 days? Or a vote no would also be not allowing a raise for the rest of the magistrates, and who am I to say no to that? So I don't know still yet, and I know we're getting ready to vote, so, but I just wanted to, just mention my thoughts on it.
All right. We're missing one magistrate here today. Should he have an opportunity to vote on this? Mr. Greenwell?
Quite frankly, Judge, if he wanted to vote on it, you should have been here.
All right. Hearing that, got a motion on the floor. All in favor of the motion to accept the 1.9%, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed?
No.
No.
All right. Roll call vote, please. I can't figure out where that was.
Magistrate Lankins,
Yes.
Magistrate Tice,
Yes.
Magistrate Harrison. No. Magistrate Greenwell,
No.
Magistrate Hounds,
Yes.
Magistrate Hawkins.
No.
Magistrate Dye,
Yes.
Judge Vogel.
Yes. Motion carries 5-3. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Parks Committee. Magistrate Harrison.
Thank you, Judge. Do we have somebody here from Main Street? Yes, hi. I've received a request from LaGrange Main Street from Karen Eldridge, and she has sent Sue
I'm
Ann,
Sue Ann Jones.
the sacrificial lamb. No, you're not. No, but it's their standard request for use of the courthouse lawn this year, but I'd like for her to make the request.
Yes, we'd like to request to use the courthouse lawn on 3 occasions this year for community events that are all free events. April 13th from 10 to 4 for Shakespeare in the Park. October 6th from 6 to 9 for Ghost Stories on the Square. And December 7th from noon to 9 for Light Up LaGrange.
And I offer that as a motion.
All right.
Second?
All right. Moved and seconded that the courthouse square be made available to, downtown
Ma-
LaGrange?
Main Street
Main
LaGrange
Street
program,
program, right.
yes.
Okay, for those dates, April 13th, October 6th, and December 7th. Any discussion? Sue Ann's been here quite a while for no discussion, right? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good luck with all those programs. Thank you for having them. Now we'll be on to board appointments here. Oh, excuse me, we've got the building committee. Is that Magistrate Likens?
Oh, thanks, Judge. I already put my stuff up. We met today as a, going by memory now, as a building committee, and we have voted to recommend that the court accept the bid from, I'm gonna have to find my notes. It's concerning the windows at the, the windows at the train depot to accept the bid of Watts Home Improvement for $12,285 and to accept the bid from DBJ Enterprises for the installation of the windows for $3,850.
You making that motion?
Yes.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded that we accept those bids as related by the building committee. Is there any discussion on that? All right, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
And as the second item, we have voted to recommend the painting contract of the train depot building be awarded to Burkhead Painting for $4,358.
We don't have to do that one.
Don't,
No,
We don't have to do that one.
no,
Thank you.
nope.
all right, we'll
Track that motion.
withdraw that one there. Okay. Next item has to do with a board appointment to the South Oldham Fire Protection District. I'd like to recommend the appointment of Clayton Raymer to a term that would expire on June 30th of 2021. Clayton Raymer is a CPA who lives in the area, and provided his biography there, and I think he'll do an excellent job.
Second that motion, Judge.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We, all right, we're coming fast to the end of the meeting here. We have another opportunity for public comment. If anybody'd like to address the fiscal court, they're able to do so. Mayor Dybel, I won't ask you to state your name and
Okay.
address. 'Cause,
Thank you, Judge. I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank the court for your support for the approval of this ILA. I want to thank the judge. We have diligently worked on this. Crestwood agreed to put it off a little longer in order to get everything put in place, but I think it's going to be a benefit to the city of Crestwood residents and to all of Oldham County in the long run. I appreciate your support, your comments, and ready to move forward. And I think you all are probably getting tired of looking at me now, so
Okay.
I'll sit down.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Seeing no one, I'll close public comment. We'll go on and see if we have any closing comments today from Magistrate Dye.
Yes, thank you, Judge. First off, I attended the dinner banquet with the Conservation District on the 28th. Magistrate Greenwell, Judge Vogel was there, Ms. Helton from the Animal Control, and Derek Shade and his wife. It's always great to see these young kids win the awards for the different things that they do. It's really a bright spot in all the stuff that we do up here. It takes us past the sewers and the jails and all of that, because it's really something enjoyable to see the parents and the pictures taken. And I really like that one guy, Steve, that won it, like the drill sergeant, tells those kids, you go there, then you go there, and then you go there to get your pictures. It's really a kick to see him do that.
After 38 years, they got it right, you know?
Yeah, they've got. I forgot where he said he taught school, but he's got it down to an art. The second thing is, for those of y'all that are interested in state level politics, March 26th at the LaGrange Baptist Church, there will be a forum held by the Oldham County Republican Women's Club. Again, that's the 26th. All 12 Republican primary candidates will be there, from Governor Bevin on down to the Auditor, Treasurer, Secretary of State, Ag, and Attorney General. I might be missing one there. So it will start at 6 to 7. They'll have food trucks outside if you want refreshments or something to eat. And then from 7 to 9, there will be they'll do their little statements and speeches and stuff. So if you want to see what your next potential state candidates are, or state officials are going to be, this is your first time. And usually when you see this many of them together, they, especially being an elected official, they always want money. But you all can get there for free. So it'll be a good time for all. Thank you.
Magistrate Hawkins.
Nothing today, Judge, thank you.
All right. Magistrate Hounds.
Yes, sir. I spoke with the folks at KYTC and the Oldham County, OSEA, Oldham County Environmental Authority, and it appears that the Ash Avenue project is going to be on hold a little bit longer. They're going to try to get the Ash Avenue project completed. When they get the work done, then they can go ahead and do the paving. Part of the reason that the project hasn't had any movement over the past couple of months is, rightfully so, if they get the project completed, they still would be unable to complete the asphalt portion of the project. So just to let everybody know, I am in contact with them on a regular basis, both KYTC and OSEA, to make sure that they know that people are calling and asking. Hopefully it'll be done somewhere around mid to late April is what they're telling us at this time.
Magistrate Greenwell.
Thank you, Judge. It was good to see the people from District 5 here today. They truly are good to work with. We get frustrated sometimes when a sign doesn't get put up fast enough or a pothole doesn't get filled in quick enough, but they live in this community also for the most part, and so they want to see the best thing for Oldham County and surrounding areas. So I just thank them for being here today. As regards, and Highway 22 is going to get repaved, I promise. And as far as the CPI increase vote, sometimes I vote for it, sometimes I don't. I just decided today not to.
Magistrate Harrison.
Thank you, Judge. Just to recap some things already been said, in the Westport community, the bridge on 524 over 18 Mile Creek is scheduled to start repair on April 23rd. That section, what's called West 524, will be closed, but East 524 will be open, the park will be open, and the river will be open. We will work with the Transportation Cabinet to make sure we have appropriate signage at every intersection to help people. But as far as we know, local traffic will be able to use both ends of 18 Mile Creek Road. We're going to do what we can to keep out-of-town people off that road, but you should be able to use both of it. Second item, the dredging on the river I mentioned before. At this time, no permit has been issued by the Corps. Third item, community meeting is a week from tonight at 7 o'clock at the Westport Baptist Church Enrichment Center across from the church at 6415 Washington Street. It'll start out as a meet and greet that will probably morph quickly into a Q&A session, and that's fine. Lastly, military observance days. Do we have any CBs in here? Well, this is your birthday from 1942 is when that organization was started, and then March 15th will be the 100th birthday of the American Legion. Thank you.
Magistrate Tice.
No comment, thank you.
Magistrate Likens.
Thank you, Judge. I just want to say I'm humbled and honored to serve on this fiscal court, and I absolutely love it when we disagree, because if we all thought the same, we just need 0 magistrates up here and 1 judge. Thank you.
John Carter, would you? Nothing? Okay. Okay. All right. Just got a couple things. One thing I'm thinking about that CPI increase that you mentioned. This is rough, but that amounts to something less than $1 a day. Okay. Now there's 365 days in a year, and there are 365 days that each magistrate and the county judge is responsible for the operation of our county. So we're not part-time people, we're full-time, and when we mean full-time, we mean from the day you're sworn in until the day your service ends. No matter where you are in Oldham County or in any other place in the United States or the world, you still have a responsibility to the people of Oldham County. And so that CPI increase amounts to something less than $1 a day. At noon, Deputy Judge Kevin Nuss and I had the pleasure of being at the Capitol Rotunda, where the governor and others had what we call a service for recognizing the census. 2020 census is coming. Oldham County was the first county in the state to inaugurate a complete count committee that's pulling together community leaders to try to make an effort to count every single body in Oldham County. It's very important that we do this. We actually need more people to work in the census. If you know anyone who needs a job, looking for a job, part-time job, excuse me, let me know. Call my office because we'll get them in touch with the census. Governor Bevan did recognize us, and we had our picture taken with him and so on because of Oldham County being the first. I want to recognize Kevin Nuss, who I asked to take the leadership on that, and he has done that, and appreciate that very much. Sitting there and listening, I found out that the 2020 census will be the 24th census in the history of the United States. Because we don't participate, we're counted as kids, but we really don't start to fill out the paperwork till we get to be an adult. Most of us will have an opportunity of 6 or 7 times in our life to participate in the census. They had one individual there that when the program began, he started filling out the census form. It took him 4.5 minutes to complete the census form. It's not long, it's easy. It'll be on paper or on the internet or in person. You can get somebody to help you with it if your site is not good or some other reason you need help. Thomas Jefferson inaugurated the first census in 1790. And a number that stuck in my mind from the presentation today is that there are $600 billion of federal money, our money coming back to us in one form or another that all 50 states are competing for. What you get out of that $50 billion is in many cases linked to how many people are in your county, census tract data that's developed. So, and in the last census, they said there were a number of children in Oldham County, not Oldham County, but Kentucky, that did not get counted, okay? For one reason or other, they were missed in the count. If those children had to have been counted, it would have been worth $210 million to the state of Kentucky to have those kids counted. So everybody counts. So some people live in a house, some people are moving around from a place where they live to another place where they stay. But let's get everybody counted. Make sure you are counted, help others get counted, and if you can work in the census, give us a call. We'll line you up with a good part-time job. So, Measure Greenwell.
Judge, I think I have some of those kids on my bus. They're really fast, and they're hard to count, let me tell you.
Right. Well, we want to get everybody in there. So in the last census, Oldham County had 60,316 residents. So it'd be interesting to see when the next census is completed, how much we've gone up. You know, I'd say we've gone up 7,000 to 8,000, 9,000 people maybe. I'm not sure. But we've got more coming. We want to manage that growth. That's a whole other subject we don't need to get on today. But let's all participate in the census. I thank all our guests for being here today. Ross Webb from Shelby County, thank you for coming. Wes Sindor, Brian Bingham from MSD, thank you for coming. Mayor Dybel, thank you for being here. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.